Buying the wrong used luxury car does not just cost you the purchase price. It costs you repairs, resale value, time, stress, and confidence. And when a cheap luxury car goes wrong, it can get expensive very quickly. So this list is not about badges, hype, or trying to look rich for the lowest price. This is based on real-world ownership logic, reliability, maintenance cost, comfort, fuel economy, safety, parts availability, and long-term value. These are the cheap luxury cars I would actually buy today with no fear, as long as the history is clean and the inspection checks out. Number 5. The 2012 to 2014 Volvo S60 T5 2.5 front-wheel drive. I am starting with the Volvo because this is the kind of car people either understand immediately or completely ignore. It is not trying to impress everyone at the gas station. It is more quiet than that. The reason I like it is because it gives you real comfort, real safety, and a premium feel without putting you into the scary side of European luxury ownership. The version I would buy is very specific. I would look for the T5 with the 2.5-liter 5-cylinder turbo and front-wheel drive. I do not need the most complicated version of this car. I do not need all-wheel drive if it adds age, weight, and extra repair risk. I want the simpler one, because simple matters when the car is already more than 10 years old. Price-wise, this is usually the kind of car I would expect to find around $6,000 to $9,000, depending on mileage and condition. But with a Volvo, I would never shop only by price. The cheapest one is usually not the smartest one. The engine is the main reason I would consider it. That 5-cylinder turbo has personality, and when it has been maintained properly, it can be a strong, long-term motor. But this is where I have to be honest. I would want proof. Oil changes, cooling system care, timing belt service, and no signs of neglect. A clean Volvo can feel like a steal. A neglected Volvo can feel like punishment. Inside, this car makes a lot of sense. The seats are excellent, the driving position is natural, the cabin feels mature, and the whole car has that calm, secure feeling Volvo does so well. It is not a giant sedan, and the back seat is not amazing, but for commuting and road trips, I really like the way it feels. Safety is another big reason it is here. Even today, this car feels solid. I like that. Cheap luxury should not mean cheap structure. The reason not to buy it is maintenance sensitivity. If the previous owner treated it like a disposable car, I would walk away. My verdict: I would buy the Volvo S60 if I wanted something safe, comfortable, different, and understated, but I would only buy a good one. With this car, condition matters more than the badge and more than the price. Number 4. The 2010 to 2014 Acura TSX 2.4. The Acura TSX is the car on this list that makes me feel like I am being an adult. It is not the most exciting choice, and I know that. But sometimes the best used luxury car is the one that does not create drama every time something wears out. This is basically the sensible premium sedan. It has Honda bones, Acura build quality, and just enough luxury to feel nicer than a regular economy car. That combination is exactly why I trust it. The one I would buy is the 2.4-liter 4-cylinder. I know the V6 exists, but for this list, I do not really want it. The 4-cylinder is the smarter buy. It is lighter, cheaper to run, easier to maintain, and it fits the personality of the car better. A clean TSX usually sits somewhere around $7,000 to $11,000. Some people may think that is expensive for an older Acura, but the reason they still bring money is simple. They have a reputation for lasting. That 2.4-liter engine is the heart of the car. It is not exotic. It is not trying to win drag races, but it is one of those engines that makes sense when you think like an owner. Keep up with the oil, do normal maintenance, and it can give you a lot of miles without making you nervous. The ownership cost is probably the best part. Parts are not impossible to find, mechanics know the platform. The car is not stuffed with fragile luxury car technology. Fuel economy is reasonable, and the whole thing feels like it was designed by people who expected someone to keep it for a long time. The compromise is that it does not feel super luxurious. The ride can be a little firm, the cabin is well made, but not glamorous. The power is fine, but not special. If you want a big, soft luxury cruiser, this is not that car. But as a daily driver, it is hard to argue against. It is easy to park, easy to see out of, comfortable enough, and built well enough that I would not be scared to recommend it. My verdict: if I wanted the lowest risk car on this list, this is probably the one. The Acura TSX is not the car I would buy to show off. It is the car I would buy because I want to sleep well after I sign the title. Before we keep going, drop your city in the comments. I want to know where you're watching from. And if you like these hidden goldmine files, hit like, subscribe, and join as a member for $14.99 a month to support more research like this. Number 3. The 2013 to 2015 Hyundai Azera Limited. Now this one is interesting because the Hyundai Azera is not the car most people search for. Nobody wakes up saying, "I need an Azera." And that is exactly why I like it. This car is overlooked, and overlooked cars can be great used buys. The Azera Limited gives you a big, comfortable sedan, a smooth V6, a lot of features, and a near luxury experience without luxury brand pricing. I would target the limited trim because that is where the car makes sense. If I am buying an Azera, I want the one with the equipment. Leather, heated and ventilated seats, premium audio, the nicer cabin, the comfort features, that is the whole point. The price range I would expect is around $7,000 to $10,000 for a good one. And for that money, it can feel like a lot more car than a basic compact or a worn-out German sedan with a better badge. The 3.3-liter V6 is smooth and strong enough for the car. It is not a sports sedan, and I would not pretend it is. But it has easy power, the automatic transmission fits the relaxed personality, and the car feels best when you drive it calmly. Maintenance should be more manageable than many true luxury brands. That is a major reason I would consider it. You get the comfort without signing up for the same level of repair anxiety. Still, I would check everything before buying: electronics, suspension, air conditioning, oil leaks, and service history. A feature-loaded older car is only nice when the features still work. Comfort is where the Azera really earns its place. It is roomy, quiet, soft, and easy to live with. If someone told me they wanted a cheap used car for commuting, road trips, and relaxed driving, this would be one of the first under-the-radar choices I would mention. The weakness is the badge and resale value. A Lexus will always have more used market respect, and Acura will feel like the safer recommendation. The Azera requires a buyer who does not care what the neighbors think. My verdict: I would buy the Hyundai Azera Limited for the person who wants comfort first and image second. It is not the most prestigious car here, but it might give you the most luxury feeling per dollar. Number 2. The 2014 to 2015 Infiniti Q70 3.7 rear-wheel drive. The Infiniti Q70 is the car on this list that still feels expensive. It has the shape, the size, the rear-wheel drive layout, and the big, naturally aspirated V6. It feels like a proper luxury sedan, not just a normal car with leather seats. This is the car I would buy if I wanted something with more presence. It is not as cheap to run as the Acura, and it is not as safe a bet as the Lexus, but it gives you a lot of car for the money. The version I would want is the 3.7 rear-wheel drive. I would skip the V8. I understand why people want it, but for a no-fear luxury car, the V8 pushes the cost in the wrong direction. More fuel, more tires, more brakes, more risk. The V6 is the sweet spot. A good one usually lives somewhere around $12,000 to $16,000. That is more money than some cars here, but you are also getting a larger and more powerful luxury sedan. The VQ V6 is the reason I can recommend it with confidence. It is a known engine, it has been used across a lot of Nissan and Infiniti products, and it has a reputation for being tough. It is not the most quiet or refined engine by modern standards, but I trust it more than I trust many small turbo engines in cheap luxury cars. The ownership cost is reasonable for what it is, but you have to be realistic. This is a heavy, powerful luxury sedan. Tires will not be cheap, brakes will not be economy car cheap. Fuel economy is not the selling point. If you buy it expecting compact car costs, you are buying the wrong car. But on the road, it makes sense. It is stable, comfortable, quick, and confident. It feels good at highway speeds. The cabin feels more special than the price suggests. And if you find one with the right safety packages, you can get useful features like blind spot warning, lane departure warning, adaptive cruise control, and forward collision warning. The weakness is fuel, cost, and size. This is not the car I would pick for someone who wants maximum efficiency or the easiest city parking experience. My verdict: I would buy the Infiniti Q70 if I wanted a real luxury sedan with power and character, but I did not want the risk of a cheap German car. It is the emotional choice that still has enough logic behind it. Number 1. The 2011 to 2013 Lexus IS 350 rear-wheel drive. This is the one I would put my own money on first. The Lexus IS 350 wins because it has the mix I care about most: reliability, performance, build quality, resale value, and driving feel. It is not perfect, but as a used luxury car, It is one of the few that can be fun without feeling financially reckless. I would specifically want the rear-wheel drive IS 350 from 2011 to 2013. I would not chase the cheapest one. I would chase the cleanest one with good records, no serious accident history, and no signs of abuse. Pricing usually lands around $10,000 to $14,000 for a solid example, and clean, low-mile cars can go higher. That is the catch. The good ones are not always cheap anymore because people know what they are. The engine is why this car is number one. The 3.5-liter V6 is strong, smooth, and durable. It gives the car real speed, but it does not feel fragile. The automatic transmission is well matched, and the whole car has that Lexus feeling of being engineered properly. Ownership cost is not nothing. Tires can cost money, fuel economy is not great, and Lexus parts are not free. But the difference is predictability. I would rather pay normal maintenance on a car I trust than save a little upfront on a car that scares me every morning. The driving experience is also a big reason I like it. The front seats are good, the steering feels direct, the cabin is quiet, and the car has a solid, tight feel that ages well. It is small enough to feel sporty, but still comfortable enough to use every day. The main weakness is space. The back seat is tight, and the trunk is not huge. If I had a family and needed a lot of room, this would not be my first pick. But for one person, two people, or someone who mostly drives alone, it makes a lot of sense. Safety is solid for the era, and the car feels planted and secure. It may not have every modern driver assistance feature, but it gives me confidence because the basics are strong. My verdict: this is my favorite cheap luxury car on the list. It is quick, reliable, well-built, and still special enough to enjoy. It is not the cheapest to buy, but it is the one I would trust the most.